Automated device enrollment is a service offered by Apple that allows for zero-touch deployment of devices. Typically, only devices purchased directly from Apple or an authorized reseller can use this service. Luckily, through Apple Configurator, we can add devices that were not eligible for automated device enrollment to the service, allowing for the same zero-touch deployment from Jamf Now. This is Zach with Jamf. Welcome to adding devices for auto-enrollment in Jamf Now. To begin, we'll need a device running iOS 11 or later, and a Mac with a copy of Apple Configurator 2.5. The device will be wiped by Apple Configurator during this process. Despite this, we recommend wiping the device prior to beginning this workflow to ensure consistent results. Make sure any information needed from the device is backed up, and then wipe the device from Settings, General, Reset, Erase all content and settings. When ready to begin, we should see the Hello screen prior to Setup Assistant. After connecting the device to the Mac, open Apple Configurator 2.5 and click the device image to highlight it. Click Prepare at the top and choose to prepare with a manual configuration. Check the box for Add to Apple School Manager or Apple Business Manager, and ensure that Activate and Complete Enrollment is unchecked. Supervised devices will be checked automatically, and we can decide at this point whether to allow the device to connect with computers other than this Mac once enrolled. I'll leave that box checked. Leave Enable Shared iPad unchecked and click Next. If this is the first device we are preparing with Apple Configurator for Jamf Now, leave the drop-down on New Server and click Next. If you are preparing multiple devices, after entering the server information for the first device, we can select that server from this drop-down for subsequent devices. On the next screen, give our server a display name. We'll then need to enter the special enrollment URL for your Jamf Now instance. I'll go ahead and log into Jamf Now and navigate to Open Enrollment. Look for the Open Enrollment link. This should be in the format go.jamfnow.com/ followed by your unique identifier. Copy just the unique identifier after the slash and return to Apple Configurator. The enrollment link format is https://youruniqueidentifier-mdm.jamfcloud.com/. Verify that your URL matches the format of the example here, and then click Next. We'll see a warning that Apple Configurator is unable to verify the URL. This is expected, and we can click Next. Ensure that jamfcloud.com is selected, and click Next. Sign in with the Apple ID used to access Apple Business Manager, and click Next. We can choose to generate a new supervision identity or use an existing one. Since this is the first device I am preparing for Jamf Now, I'll choose Generate a New One. Jamf Now will manage which Setup Assistant screens are displayed to your users, so we can ignore this screen and click Next. The device will need an internet connection to complete this process, so either manually connect to Wi-Fi on the device, but don't proceed through Setup Assistant, or create a Wi-Fi profile with Apple Configurator to push to the device. If you're preparing one or two devices, manually connecting to Wi-Fi will likely be quicker. But if you are processing a large batch of devices, creating the Wi-Fi profile will save more time in the long run. Finally, click Prepare. We will be prompted for a local administrator password here to generate the supervision identity for the device. The device will be erased and returned to the pre-Setup Assistant screen. We'll need to complete one final step in Apple Business Manager to add the device to Jamf Now. Log into Apple Business Manager and then click Devices in the sidebar. Enter the device serial number in the search field at the top and click the device name. On the right, click Edit Device Management, and then in the Choose an MDM Server drop-down, select your Jamf Now MDM server. Click Continue to finalize the assignment. Let's log into Jamf Now to check our work. Click Auto Enrollment on the sidebar, and then View Devices to verify that the serial number for this device is in this list. If the device does not appear in this list, click Sync Devices to force a refresh from Apple Business Manager. Once the device appears in this list, it's ready for auto-enrollment with Jamf Now. To note, devices added to auto-enrollment in this way are given a 30-day provisional enrollment period that begins the next time the device is activated. During this period, the user is able to remove the management profile from the device. When those 30 days have elapsed, the option to remove management from the device will automatically disappear. Before we wrap up, there are a few common pitfalls with this process to keep an eye out for. Device fails to complete the prepare process with an error. This typically stems from network issues. If you are using a Wi-Fi profile in Configurator, verify that the SSID and password are typed correctly, or try discarding the profile and manually connecting the device to Wi-Fi. Verify that there are no firewalls or other network filters blocking traffic to Apple servers. We can also utilize a cellular hotspot for the prepare process to be absolutely sure there are no filters in place. If we see enrollment errors after adding the device to Jamf Now, double-check the device is assigned to the correct MDM server in Apple Business Manager. If the assignment is correct, verify that the device is not activation locked. Wipe the device and go through Setup Assistant normally. If we see a prompt to log in with a specific Apple ID, the device is activation locked. Remove the lock either via the iCloud credentials, a bypass code if available, or reach out to Apple to remove it remotely. That wraps up manually adding devices for auto-enrollment in Jamf Now. As a reminder, each of the steps we covered will need to be performed in sequence for this workflow to succeed. Prepare the device with Configurator, assign to the correct MDM server in Apple Business Manager, ensure device appears in Jamf Now via Sync Devices, and enroll through auto-enrollment. If you run into any errors during this workflow or just get stuck, please reach out to Jamf support for assistance. Thanks for watching.